I get a lot of questions on this hair. You can typically find me with like this wavy, kind of messy hair just because it's windy in Chicago. So having like a perfect style is not gonna really work for you unless it's like a gel down hairstyle, which I don't typically do. So I wanted to do a video on not how I do this hair, just because I feel like just about everybody knows how to like run a flat iron through their hair and like twist up and curl it, but keep it this way. I know it took me a little bit of time after like starting to wear my hair like this to figure out how to manage it at night. So for us black girls, you know, you gotta wrap your hair. You have to do something to it because our hair is too fragile just to be sleeping on it at night. I guess you would call this pin curls, but you know, this is a bit more wavy, so it's not gonna be as tight as your usual pin curls. So you don't want to just wrap it flat like all the way around, because then it's just gonna be like kind of like a weird like little flip or a bend here, and it's just not gonna look right. Trust me, I've tried almost everything. So before I go to bed, because this style is very like poofy kind of and big, and I feel like these type of styles can be very drying just because you're trying not to put a lot on your hair, but I like to put something on before I go to bed just to keep it moisturized like as best as I can. I put something on every morning before I leave the house and something every night, and I'll show you both of those. So before I go to bed, I put this Lotta Body coconut and shea oils moisturize me curl and style milk. So I talked about this in my braids video, and let me take my reins off because I do not like this stuff on my hair. I talked about this in my braids video. It's a really good moisturizer, so and it's not too heavy either, but I like the way it makes my hair feel. So let me open you. So I put just about this much in there. So, and I kind of just like, I don't put it on just one specific part. I just kind of put it all over. I try to make sure I get my ends really well, but I put it all over my hair. And this is why I like this look so much. Like if I had like a super straight hairstyle or something, this would really weigh it down. But also me running my hands through my head like that like would mess my hair up, and I feel like with this, like you can't really mess this style up. It's just here. So after I do that, especially after I've been out all day, because I'm not usually one to bring a comb with me, I just kind of let my hair do what it does. I'm gonna comb it out all the way, and this is just a wide tooth comb. I don't use too many like small tooth combs on my hair unless I'm like parting it or like actually flat ironing it, but other than that, it's typically always a wide tooth comb. I am in the process of going natural. Yes, your girl is finally jumping on the boat. I tried a few times to do it. Side note, yes, I do know I'm combing a lot, but I just like to make sure I get all the little tangles out. I've tried it a few times to do it, but I always end up being like, oh no, you know, I don't have the patience, can't do it, and throwing the creamy crack back in my head. But I feel like this time I'm gonna actually stick it out and do it. Before I leave the house, I do put stuff, some oil in my hair, so I put the Hask argan oil. So I just buy these little tubes from like CVS or Target. I think they're probably like $2 to $3, but this is a really good light oil. The thing that's most important about this is you need some type of something to secure this with. So I like to use these little clips. You can get these at the dollar store, or not the dollar store, the beauty supply store. They might have a dollar store. I don't know. Start over here on this side. So the first thing I do, I just take this big chunk up front. I'm always combing through. And what I'm gonna do is, so if you see, like if you're holding the hair up, you'll see how it kind of just like kind of falls with a bend naturally. What I do is always make sure you're doing this in the direction that you want your curls to go. But I'm just gonna pin that back just like this. And I'm gonna put a clip in to secure it. So it looks like that. It looks like kind of one of those like old-timey hairstyles, but clip it back like that. So then you have this little piece hanging over here, which is like the tail end of your wave. So then what I'll do is I'll take this section of hair and comb it out. And I make sure I grab the little tail end of this piece up here and I flip it back and I clip it. So that way this piece is still getting curled back and this piece is curled back. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep clipping all the way around. Two things to pay attention to: the direction of your curl, it matters. So don't just go the opposing way. Your hair is gonna look a little funky in the morning if you don't pay attention to that. And two, where the curl is actually bending. So don't just be clipping all willy-nilly. If your hair is not bending there, do not clip there unless you want to make a whole new curl pattern. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. I personally wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to get out the house fast in the morning because you might have some fixing to do. If you have longer hair, you will have more of those continuous pieces, so make sure you keep grabbing those so you'll have a more continuous curl, those little tail end pieces. And if you have short hair, you're gonna need to pay attention to the top and the back just so that you have that fullness all over. And then these bottom pieces that you'll have down here, I know they look little and like they don't matter, but they do. So make sure you clip those up and just twist them up on themselves. So at this point, everything's all pinned back. You probably look like your grandma from like the 1940s or something. I spray a little bit more of something on here, very light mist. Olive oil with grapeseed for heat protection, 2-in-1 shine and heat defense. So it says damage shield, anti-frizz, and radiant shine for blow drying. But anyways, whatever. I'm not really putting too much heat on my hair with this hairstyle. It can look dry really easily, so I spray a little bit of this on there. So just spray this. And I'll alternate this. So I wash my hair. Make sure I did it on my shirt because I like this shirt. I wash my hair like once a week. Now don't worry about like if it gets pressed down, because if it gets pressed down, it's still in the shape of your wave, so it can get pressed down. You can sleep on it. So that's it. I just go to sleep with this scarf on. So like you see now, it's probably like mushed down in here. Like the only part that's probably not smushed down is like this back here, but it doesn't matter because it's still in the shape of that wave that you created. So when you flip it back. Here I am looking angry the next morning. I'm not a morning person at all, fun fact. But the process for this is pretty fast. So just take out all of the clips. Be careful because they will get a little bit tangled in your hair at night. And I'm just gonna comb through this with a wide tooth comb, and I will tease it a little bit now, just a little, girl, okay, don't go overboard. And then a little bit of that Hask Argan oil. I can't tell you exactly how much to use, just use however much you think is best for your hair, but I would definitely say start off with less. And then if it's later in the week, I will spray a little bit of dry shampoo in there too. That's how I do it. I thought it would just be helpful to show that because I know this style of hair is pretty popular, but for us ladies of color, with your hair being more fragile, it's a little bit more difficult, more strenuous on your hair, especially if you don't wear a weave to try to achieve this look. So I'll put links to all the products that I use below, and if you have any questions, always leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe.